Hello and welcome back to Tree of Statism. I'm Noah Gutman. Today we'd like to start with a disclaimer. In Judaism, it is largely accepted that negative prophecies do not have to be fulfilled. The point of negative prophecies in the Bible is to warn of what may happen in order to get people to repent so that God will not have to punish the people. Likewise, in this video, I'm not trying to say that what I'm warning of will inevitably happen. The system does not have to fail. The point of this video is to give an advance warning. Anyone listening can fix course. And if anyone has Biden's phone number or Trump's phone number, try sending them this video. Most human societies are built on cooperation. Societies cooperate with themselves and defeat those that don't cooperate with themselves. In many ways, individuals in society rely on each other to help themselves transmit genes. That is, one person may die, but if his brother takes over as an uncle, his children will survive. Whom survives is often random. We can't control who the bear attacks, who the lion eats, who's in the wrong place at the wrong time. There are kind of accidents. It's a bit random. And the idea is that people help each other out after, and whoever lives takes care of the children of those who die. For many reasons, societies persecute traitors. They prosecute them in a bunch of ways. The reason is that a few traitors can ruin the entire group. But what is a traitor? During this video, we will define it as someone acting inappropriately in relations to in-group, out-group preferences. You can be greedy or a murderer without being a traitor, because those are things that are done inside the group but are not related to groups outside of our group. Traitors can gain much on a personal level from supporting the enemy. In military affairs, opening the gates or selling out sensitive information can cause the entire group to fail completely. In exchange for ruining the group, an individual may gain large amounts of wealth that is looted from the group. That is to say, you may be a poor peasant now, but once you sell out the king, you can get a lot of his gold. Not all of it, but some of it. Sometimes they're even giving positions of power. That is to say, if you sell out, you're a peasant now, but you can be a lord later, we can give you some lands, we can make you a respectable person, just sell out your group. Women are usually a sensitive subject. If they marry outside the group and men from other groups, it could end the group, the clan, the tribe, whatever it is. This is especially true in polygamous societies, like in the Middle East, where one man can marry multiple women. Every woman that marries out of the clan is a man in the clan that doesn't get to marry anyone, because she marries out of the clan and the women in the other clan are kept from marrying your clan. For this reason, it is often considered traitorous to marry outside of the group without permission. Sometimes the group may give you permission for alliances and so on. However, usually you either date inside the group, marry inside the group, or you are considered a traitorous woman. Societies go into deep lengths to find out whom is loyal and whom is not loyal. This is of grave importance. The point is to give the loyal people good positions and important positions, and not to give the disloyal people positions from which they can undermine society. If the person has any reason to sell you out, don't give him a position where he can sell you out. To a certain degree, this is very reasonable. You don't want people selling you out. But to an extreme degree, it can cause very great problems, very significant problems, when you employ people based on loyalty and not on competency. Suddenly you end up with a bunch of aristocrats that got a bunch of high-paying jobs and important jobs and powerful jobs, but often they're not qualified for the actual jobs that they're given. The issue of loyalty also comes into play between allies. No one wants to be discarded by his allies in his time of need. It is therefore important to support an ally in more of an in-group out-group preference and less neutrally. If an ally is too close to your enemy, the question of loyalty always arises. It is very hard to be allies with two different enemies. That is to say, you might not be enemy with the enemy of either one of them, but once they are enemies of each other, you have to kind of pick a side because you can't stay neutral, otherwise the alliance is kind of nothing. As mentioned before, I personally think that there is an upcoming struggle in the 2030s. Maybe earlier, maybe later, we're not quite sure. It could be something like World War III, it could be something like Cold War II, it could be a bunch of unrelated wars that just kind of happen at the same time. That is to say that when things break down, suddenly other nations also break down. If, for example, one country is producing a lot of wheat and it goes to war, then another nation that's importing wheat suddenly has a lot of civil strife or maybe fights with its neighbors. During this 2030s struggle, we think that there's going to be an Asian alliance: Iran, Russia, and China. These three countries are are the strongest base of this alliance, and they are quite loyal to each other. To a certain degree, they don't want to undermine their allies. Any talks trying to isolate them one from the other is going to fail because they are loyal to each other. And they understand that if they let one be thrown under the bus, they're still going to be under attack, they're still going to be having geopolitical conflicts, but now there are two against the world rather than three against the world. The other major alliance in the 2030s war is probably going to be the West, backed by America and Europe, but mostly backed by America. Some allies see already the first crack, and that was the withdrawal from Afghanistan. The withdrawal is seen as a kind of betrayal because something there went seriously wrong. It caused the collapse of the democratic government and the replacement by the Sharia government of the Taliban. Democrats blame Republicans and Republicans blame Democrats, but I'm not sure who is to blame. Foreigners are blaming America because someone in America screwed over the Afghan government. Israel may be a second kind of situation to consider. As of March 2024, there's a sense of betrayal by President Biden amongst Israelis. His plan for the day after was rejected because the Prime Minister of Israel kind of saw it as relying on a failing government. The PA is kind of a failing government that has already lost control over Jenin in the past year or 2 years. And he says it sends the wrong message at the end of the war. The idea is that if the violence that started in October 7th ends with progress for the Palestinians, they will just repeat the violence again to get more progress. Currently, Biden and Schumer are trying to advocate for elections, thinking it will lead to a new government that will be more loyal to American interests. However, some Israelis think that that is exactly the problem. They don't think that the actual government is bad, except that it doesn't serve America enough. If sanctions come from the UN and America does not protect them, there is going to be a serious sense of betrayal for the Israelis, and this may seriously harm the alliance between America and Israel. However, the disloyalty problems do not stop with Democrats. America and the Democratic Party have supported Ukraine to a great deal in its fight with Russia. It is in American interest for Russia to ruin itself in Ukraine. If Russia ruins itself in Ukraine now, it's going to be far less capable of joining the war in the 2030s. Many Republicans, however, want to cut the funding to the war and end it early. This will be seen as a betrayal. The Kurds are a similar story. They were greatly supported by Democrats and America when they were fighting Assad and the ISIS terror group. Republicans, however, want to withdraw all troops from Syria, which would be seen as a great betrayal if suddenly the Kurds would be massacred by Assad. You may be trying to blame Democrats or Republicans or whoever it is. However, in the end, America is going to be blamed for disloyalty. Furthermore, having an alliance with a country that can be cancelled and is likely to be cancelled every 4 years, if the wrong president is elected, is not a long-term solution. This means that if there's going to continue to be partisan politics and betrayals every time an administration is replaced, there's going to be a problem because countries are not going to sign up to be your allies if in 4 years or 8 years or 12 years you're going to betray them because, well, your allies weren't America, your allies were the Democrats, and now that the Republicans are in power, well, tough luck, and vice versa. If your allies were the Republicans and in 4 or 8 or 12 years when they are replaced by a Democrat administration, if at that point they will discard you, well, that's not a long-term solution. The more allies America throws under the bus, the more are going to seek other more loyal allies. Not everyone is going to jump ship. However, the Asian alliance, Russia, Iran, and China, are going to try to collect some of the discarded allies to tip the balance in their favor. The more discarded allies they can collect, the worse the situation is going to be for the Western alliance. And this comes back to our major warning. Betrayal and loyalty are subjects that are going to be very, very hard to overcome in the coming decades or in the coming conflict. And America is going to have to try to keep its allies and is going to have to be loyal to a certain degree in order to keep them. Hey guys, I'd like to wrap up this video by reminding you to please like, subscribe, and comment on my videos. All these things really help me out with the algorithm. If you have criticisms or think I can improve, comment. I'd like to get some feedback. And watch my other videos as well. If you like them as well, do the same over there. And if you really, really want to help me out, if you really want to take interest, you can always buy my book. It's on Amazon. And Kapistan by Noah Goodman.